Trump has dealt a serious blow to Joe Biden's plans for electric vehicles or EVs. He's declared an all-out war on the government's EV push, branding it a scam. Biden's been pushing hard for EVs, even rolling out a new emission policy aimed at phasing out gas-powered cars and pushing everyone to switch to EVs. But here's the kicker. He's failed to address the elephant in the room, those sky-high EV prices that are turning people away. As skepticism grows and people start seeing through the EV hype, the market has taken a major hit. In Trump's latest move, well, it's seen as a lifeline for gas car enthusiasts everywhere. Let's dive in and unpack what this means for the future of the automotive industry. If you're on the fence about buying an EV, you need to hear this. Forget what you thought about EVs being the future. Trump has a different idea. He's out to put the brakes in the whole EV craze and bring back gas-powered cars. According to him, EVs are just way too pricey and are squeezing the middle class. And he's not alone in thinking this way. A lot of folks are starting to see that the EV dream might not be all it's cracked up to be. But why is Trump so dead set against EVs? Well, for one, he's worried about all the jobs that might disappear if we go full throttle into EV production. And he's got a point. With EVs taking over, traditional auto jobs could be in jeopardy. Plus, Trump's not too thrilled about the idea of the US losing its edge in the auto industry, especially to China. So if you're thinking about jumping on the EV bandwagon, you might want to think twice. Trump's latest statement is a wake-up call for anyone considering making the switch from gas to electric. Trump's recent visit to Michigan, the heart of America's car industry, stirred up a big debate. He didn't hold back, criticizing Biden's push for electric vehicles, saying it's doing more harm than good for the country. Trump's main worry? He thinks Biden's policies are making China even stronger in the global EV market, especially since China dominates the production of minerals essential for EV batteries. And Trump isn't just talking. His concerns are valid. With the US auto industry already losing traditional auto jobs, the quick shift to EVs could make things worse. Trump's warning is a wake-up call for anyone who thinks switching to EVs will be easy. It's a big issue with serious consequences, and Trump's visit to Michigan has put it into the spotlight. As the fight over the future of the auto industry heats up, all eyes are on Michigan. The fate of American auto jobs is on the line. It's a big deal, and Trump's comments have made it even more intense. With Michigan at the center of it all, auto workers there are facing an uncertain future. Switching to EVs might be good for the environment, but it could also leave many workers without jobs. So while EVs may be the future, Trump's visit to Michigan has raised important questions about the cost of progress. While Michigan is witnessing a surge in electric vehicle production, there's a catch. Unlike traditional gas cars, EVs require fewer parts and simpler assembly, which translates to fewer jobs and lower wages. It's like the saying goes, less is more. But in this case, it's less for the workers and more for the companies. And when it comes to repairing EVs, be prepared to break the bank. The advanced technology packed into these vehicles means that even a minor dent could set you back a cool $20,000. Yep, you heard that right. It's like paying for a small dent with a big fat check. But wait, there's more. EV owners aren't just facing hefty repair bills. They're also dealing with other challenges. Picture this. You're cruising in your shiny new EV when suddenly the temperature drops, and so does your range. Cold weather can slash an EV's range by over 30% in just 5 minutes. Talk about a chilly experience. And let's not forget about insurance premiums. With repair costs soaring, insurance companies are hiking up premiums faster than you can say, ouch. So while EVs might be the future of transportation, they come with a hefty price tag. And I'm not just talking about the sticker price. However, the reality is proving to be challenging for automakers to meet these targets. While there is growing support for EVs, the transition is not as smooth as anticipated. Automakers are struggling to balance the push for EVs with their financial viability. Honda, for example, has expressed concerns about the feasibility of achieving Biden's targets. Similarly, GM and BMW have voiced their reservations, highlighting the financial losses they're experiencing. Biden's administration is under fire for its aggressive stance on EVs. While the intentions behind the push for cleaner energy are noble, the practicality of achieving these goals is under question. Automakers are finding it increasingly challenging to meet the stringent regulations set by the government. As a result, there is growing skepticism within the industry about the feasibility of Biden's EV targets. The automotive sector is at a crossroads, and the future of EVs in the US remains uncertain amidst these challenges. The US Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, recently proposed new tailpipe emission limits, marking a significant step towards a greener automotive future. The proposal aims to ensure that as much as 67% of all new vehicles sold in the US by 2032 will be electric. This move comes as part of President Biden's ambitious plan to drastically reduce emissions from the transportation sector, which is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. Despite the push for electric vehicles, their market share in the US remains relatively small. In 2021, EVs accounted for only about 5.8% of all new vehicle sales in the country. While the government's targets are ambitious, experts are skeptical about whether they can be achieved. Automakers are grappling with the challenge of transitioning to electric vehicles. While many have announced plans to electrify their fleets, there are numerous hurdles to overcome. High prices and consumer skepticism are among the key challenges facing the EV industry. In addition to the challenges faced by automakers, the lack of sufficient charging infrastructure is another significant barrier to the widespread adoption of electric vehicles. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, there are currently over 100,000 public charging stations across the country, but many areas still lack adequate charging infrastructure, especially in rural and underserved communities. To address this issue, the Biden administration recently announced plans to invest $7.5 billion in expanding the national EV charging network as part of its infrastructure proposal. This investment aims to deploy an additional 500,000 charging stations by 2030, making EV charging more accessible and convenient for all Americans. However, even with these proposed investments, experts warn that building out the necessary charging infrastructure will require significant time and resources. As a result, the expansion of the EV charging network remains a critical priority for policymakers, automakers, and other stakeholders as they work to accelerate the transition to electric transportation and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. As a result, automakers are re-evaluating their strategies, and some may delay the launch of new EV models. The future of EVs in the US remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the transition to electric vehicles is a complex process that will require concerted efforts from both the government and the automotive industry. Trump's plan to address the issues surrounding electric vehicles is straightforward and pragmatic. He advocates for a focus on hybrid and gas-powered cars while simultaneously working to bring down the cost of EVs. One of Trump's main concerns is the lack of readiness in the charging infrastructure for EVs. He believes that without a robust charging network, widespread adoption of EVs will be challenging. Additionally, Trump has raised concerns about the U.S.'s reliance on China for critical minerals used in EV batteries, citing national security risks. In a surprising turn of events, Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and a former Trump supporter, has switched sides. Musk is now backing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and has distanced himself from Trump. This move has added another layer of complexity to the debate surrounding EVs and has raised questions about the future of the EV market. Ford and General Motors, or GM, once seen as pioneers in the EV revolution, are now facing substantial losses in their EV ventures. Ford is reportedly losing a staggering $36,000 in each EV sold, while GM is projected to lose over $1 billion. These financial losses are indicative of the challenges facing the EV market. High prices, lack of charging infrastructure, and consumer skepticism are all contributing factors. Despite these challenges, the push for EVs continues. The Biden administration remains committed to its goal of reducing emissions from the transportation sector. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, recently proposed new tailpipe emissions limits, aiming for a future where a significant portion of new vehicles sold in the U.S. will be electric. Biden's plan is ambitious, but whether it'll be successful remains to be seen. It's a classic showdown. On one side, you have Trump warning that EVs are a bad deal for America, while on the other side, you have the Biden administration and EV supporters who see electric cars as a future. The debate surrounding EVs is multifaceted, touching on politics, economics, and technology. With the 2024 presidential race heating up, this debate is only going to intensify. Are EVs really good for the middle class, or should we be relying less on China for critical minerals? Drop a comment below and let's get the conversation started. We've also uploaded a video discussing groundbreaking news that could impact the entire EV industry. Be sure to check it out if you want to learn more about what's in store for the future of transportation. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.